The Los Angeles Lakers have been in the spotlight all offseason, facing questions about their roster and their path back to championship contention. After weeks of speculation about LeBron James' future and the direction of the franchise, another headline now emerges, this time focused on Luka Donćić. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. General Manager Rob Pelinka has not been shy about expressing his belief in the young superstar. In his view, the Lakers may already have the player who can define the next decade of basketball. Speaking to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, Pelinka made it clear that Dončić has reached a level of play that puts him in the conversation for best player in the world. Luka's performance at Eurobasket was a statement to the entire basketball community, Pelinka said. He's on that incredibly short list of candidates for best player on the planet, if not already at the very top. This is not just routine praise. Pelinka's comments highlight the confidence the Lakers have in Dončić after making the bold decision to trade for him last season. The move shocked the league at the time, but Los Angeles was convinced that Dončić could carry the franchise into the post-LeBron era. Dončić's offensive brilliance has never been in question. His ability to score, create for others, and control the tempo of the game has made him one of the league's most dangerous players since he entered the NBA. What has drawn attention recently is his commitment to improvement on the defensive end. According to reports from the Lakers staff, Dončić has made strides in conditioning and defensive awareness, with Eurobasket serving as proof of his growth. But Pelinka's vision goes beyond individual performance. He spoke at length about the value of pairing Dončić with LeBron James, noting that even at 40 years old, LeBron remains one of the game's elite players. The combination of Dončić's youth and LeBron's experience provides Los Angeles with unique flexibility, what Pelinka calls optionality. When I use that word, it's not just about the future, it's about right now, Pelinka explained. Having Luka, who could be the best player on the planet, alongside LeBron, who is still in the mix as one of the greatest, gives us options that most teams don't have. It allows us to think carefully about how we build the roster and how we compete at the highest level. The Lakers' expectations are clear. Dončić must perform at an all-NBA level and not just as a member of the first team. They need him to be in the MVP race, setting the tone for a championship push. With LeBron nearing retirement, the franchise is counting on Dončić to step into a leadership role sooner rather than later. Since joining Los Angeles, Dončić has put up impressive numbers: 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.5 assists per game, while shooting 43.8% from the field and 37.9% from beyond the arc. These statistics illustrate why the Lakers view him as their cornerstone and why Pelinka believes he has the potential to be the very best player in the game. Still, the pressure is immense. Lakers fans expect nothing less than championship contention, and Dončić will be measured not by regular season success, but by playoff results. The front office knows this, and Pelinka's comments underscore the belief that Dončić is the player who can carry that burden. This latest development adds another layer to the Lakers' evolving storyline. Just days ago, the focus was on trade rumors involving LeBron James, with speculation swirling about whether the franchise might eventually consider moving its longtime star. Before that, discussions centered on the future of Austin Reeves and how his role fits into the bigger picture. Now, the conversation shifts to Dončić, whose presence changes the dynamic entirely. For the Lakers, these storylines are interconnected. The uncertainty around LeBron, the development of younger players like Reeves, and the arrival of Dončić all shape how the franchise prepares for the upcoming season. Pelinka's remarks serve as both a message of confidence and a reminder of the stakes. The Lakers believe they have assembled a roster capable of competing with the league's best, but the margin for error is thin. As training camp approaches, the spotlight will remain firmly on Dončić. Can he elevate his game to MVP status? Can he and LeBron coexist at the highest level, balancing youth and experience? And perhaps most importantly, can this duo deliver another championship to Los Angeles before the window begins to close? These are the questions the Lakers must answer, and Pelinka's bold praise for Dončić sets the stage for a season filled with expectations, pressure, and the constant pursuit of greatness. The Los Angeles Lakers continue to generate headlines both on and off the court. After weeks of speculation surrounding Luka Dončić's potential to be the face of the franchise for the next decade, and Rob Pelinka's bold comments about him possibly being the best player on the planet, attention now turns back to LeBron James. But this time, the focus isn't only on basketball. James has been in the public eye for more than 2 decades, ever since his high school days when the world first began labeling him the chosen one. With that level of attention, he has not only built an extraordinary basketball resume, but also cultivated connections with some of the biggest names in entertainment. Among those high-profile relationships has been his long-standing friendship with Canadian superstar Drake. In a recent interview with Speedy Mormon, James was asked directly about where things stand between him and Drake, especially after the rapper's high-profile feud with Kendrick Lamar dominated the music industry this year. James's answer was candid and reflective, signaling that while the two remain on good terms, their lives are moving in different directions. Obviously different places right now, currently, James said. He's doing his thing, I'm doing mine, but it's always love for sure. Always wish him the best. The statement was short, but telling. For years, James and Drake were often seen together, at concerts, on stage, and courtside at games. Their friendship was one of the most visible crossovers between the worlds of sports and music. But recently, that bond has cooled. While there is no sign of conflict, James's admiration for Kendrick Lamar's music, especially during Lamar's lyrical battle with Drake, appears to have created distance. The respect is still there, but the closeness has faded. This shift highlights something larger about James's life at 40 years old. Celebrity friendships and high-profile connections have long been part of his reality. Athletes and musicians often gravitate toward each other, and James has always been at the center of that cultural intersection. Yet at this stage of his career, those social circles are no longer the priority. His focus has narrowed. Right now, James is far more concerned about basketball than about the ups and downs of relationships in the music industry. His eyes are fixed on one thing, adding a 5th NBA championship before retirement. For him, that pursuit has become the ultimate motivation, the driving force behind every offseason workout and every sacrifice he continues to make in year 23 of his career. This upcoming season may represent one of his last real chances to achieve that goal. With Luka Donćić preparing for his first full season in Los Angeles, the Lakers believe they have the talent to compete at the highest level. Dončic's youth and offensive brilliance, combined with James's leadership and experience, gives the franchise a unique combination of star power. Pelinka has described it as optionality, the ability to build around 2 elite players from different generations at the same time. James's numbers from last season prove he still belongs in the conversation among the NBA's elite. He earned second-team All-NBA honors, averaging 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. He shot over 51% from the field and nearly 38% from three-point range, production that would be impressive for any player, let alone someone entering his 3rd decade in the league. For the Lakers, those numbers aren't just statistics, they're proof that James can still anchor a championship run. The hope inside the organization is that Dončić will ease some of the burden, allowing James to conserve energy for the postseason. Together, they could form one of the most dangerous duos in the NBA, balancing experience with rising stardom. Meanwhile, James's off-court relationships, whether with Drake, Kendrick Lamar, or anyone else in the entertainment world, remain part of his broader legacy as a global icon. But compared to the urgency of winning now, those connections are secondary. His career has always been about more than basketball, but as retirement approaches, his focus is sharper than ever. This balance between fame off the court and competitiveness on it defines the latest chapter in James's career. The Lakers know time is running short and the margin for error is slim. That's why Pelinka's faith in Dončić and James's relentless drive are so critical. The franchise is betting on both of them to deliver when it matters most. So while LeBron James may no longer be as close with Drake as he once was, his commitment to the Lakers remains unquestioned. For fans in Los Angeles, the real story isn't about strained friendships in the music industry. It's about whether James and Dončić can bring another banner to the rafters of Crypto.com Arena. And for James himself, that goal outweighs everything else. The Los Angeles Lakers are once again at the center of trade speculation, and this time the conversation revolves around the wing position, a critical area for the team as they prepare for another title push. With Luka Dončić secured on a long-term extension, the front office's mission has shifted towards surrounding him with the right talent to maximize his prime years. While the addition of Marcus Smart should provide defensive toughness in the backcourt, the Lakers still lack a true perimeter stopper with the size to match up against elite scorers on the wing. That need has only become more pressing with LeBron James now 40 years old and expected to carry a more strategic role rather than taking on heavy defensive assignments every night. Rui Hachimura, meanwhile, has proven effective as a power forward but is not ideally suited to guard longer, more athletic wings. According to reporting from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, the Lakers have already been active in exploring solutions. League sources indicate the team held extensive conversations with the Miami Heat regarding Andrew Wiggins, the former #1 overall pick and current Canadian international. Talks initially began prior to NBA Summer League in July, and general manager Rob Pelinka has made attempts to revisit them in recent weeks. However, Miami has shown no real urgency to part ways with Wiggins before the season begins. The Heat plan to evaluate his production and fit alongside their core before reconsidering his trade value closer to the deadline. Complicating matters further, the Heat's asking price has reportedly been steep, one the Lakers have so far been unwilling to meet. From Los Angeles' side, any serious proposal would almost certainly need to include Rui Hachimura, who remains one of the team's most movable rotation pieces. There has also been speculation that rookie Dalton Knecht could be added to a package, but even that might not satisfy Miami. The expectation is that the Heat would also push for draft capital, including a potential first-round pick in exchange for Wiggins. For the moment, that price appears too high for Pelinka and the Lakers front office. Still, the Lakers' interest is not difficult to understand. Wiggins, though inconsistent in recent seasons, has a proven track record as a two-way contributor when engaged, and his size and athleticism make him a natural fit for the kind of wing defender the Lakers desperately need. The Heat, recognizing the Lakers' desperation, have little incentive to lower their demands until pressure builds later in the season. This situation places the Lakers in a familiar position, caught between the urgency of maximizing LeBron James' final years and the long-term vision of building a roster capable of competing throughout Dončić's prime. That balance has defined Pelinka's strategy over the past 2 seasons. The Lakers are not just trying to contend this year, they are attempting to ensure that Dončić has the right supporting cast for years to come. The Western Conference landscape adds to the urgency. Teams like the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Oklahoma City Thunder all feature versatile wings who can punish mismatches. Without a reliable defensive answer on the perimeter, the Lakers risk being exposed in the postseason, no matter how brilliant Dončić and James are offensively. There is also the financial layer to consider. The Lakers are already operating with limited flexibility under the league's new collective bargaining rules. Moving a player like Hachimura, who has a sizable contract, could be necessary to match salaries in any meaningful trade, but sacrificing young assets like Knecht or future draft picks raises questions about how much the franchise should mortgage for short-term gains. So far, Pelinka has opted for patience, gauging the market while keeping communication lines open with Miami and other potential trade partners. If the Heat maintain their high asking price, the Lakers may have to shift their attention elsewhere. The trade market for wings could expand as the season progresses, particularly as teams fall out of playoff contention and look to shed contracts. For now, Los Angeles remains in evaluation mode. The front office wants to see how the current roster performs with Dončić and Smart integrated for a full season alongside James. If weaknesses on the wing prove as glaring as many anticipate, the pressure to act will only increase. This storyline underscores the larger theme of the Lakers offseason, a careful balancing act between urgency and discipline. On one hand, the team is motivated by James's pursuit of a 5th championship and the opportunity to capitalize on Dončić's prime. On the other, they are cautious not to overpay for short-term fixes that could limit flexibility down the line. As training camp approaches, the situation remains fluid. Wiggins may still be in purple and gold by season's end, but only if Miami softens its stance or Pelinka decides the gamble is worth the cost. Until then, the Lakers' search for the right wing defender continues. A reminder that even with 2 of the league's biggest stars, the margins of roster construction often determine championship outcomes.